Hello everybody, it's David R Becker again with BeckerArt, and today I'm here to give you a tip. A tip for if you're a watercolorist and you use some papers that you put masking fluid on and you find that sometimes it rips the paper off. Well, I got the solution for you. What is that solution, you may ask? It is Holbein Soft Tape. Yes, this tape is the most wonderful tape you'll ever have. If you're a watercolorist, you are going to love this tape. Let me show you right away and how to use it. It's wonderful. You just go right to the tabletop here and we will get you to show you how to do this. So what it is comes in 4 different sizes. I got these 2 sizes. I felt these were the best sizes for me. They come in a little bit smaller and a middle and this larger one. And this is about a 3/4 inch. This is about 1.25 inches. I think it comes in millimeters, so I'm not sure what those are completely. But so they come in those 4 sizes. I'm going to use this one, the bigger one, and what I'm doing is I'm using my Stonehenge Aqua paper. This is Stonehenge Aqua 300-pound cold pressed, and I'm also going to try to use it on the Aqua Hot Press, the new Aqua Hot Press Black. And these papers, when you tend to use a little bit of too much of the masking fluid, it'll come up with some of the paper sometimes. Well, they come up with this Holbein tape. I'm not sure for that reason, but I have found that it works out perfect for that. I also put it around my edge of my paper when I'm using it to put my paper down on the paper, onto the board, I mean. And so what we do is I'll take it off later and show you how I take off the paper when I take it off the board. Anyways, so here what we're going to do is we're just going to draw a little something. Let's say you're drawing, I'm just going to draw some lines and maybe some birch trees. Let's just try that. This is just not going to be a painting. I just want to show you how you can use this tape. And so here's a couple lines. And a great thing about this tape too is that it is almost transparent, so that when you're cutting it for the masking, you can actually see through it. So I'm going to take the tape. I'm just going to take about enough of that. And again, you're going to need an X-Acto knife or a blade, some kind of blade that you can cut the tape on. And I find the X-Acto blade works perfectly. And I put it right over the paper, right over the line. And see, I just put it right over the line. I push a little bit. I don't push it really hard. You don't need to push it really hard. And so then what I do is I take my X-Acto knife and see how you can see the line through the tape. Very simple. Very simply take your kneaded rubber eraser, yes. No, your X-Acto blade, and you are going to just cut a little bit. Lightly cut, and if you cut light enough, you're not going to cut any of the paper. You're just going to cut a little bit of the tape. And so that's one side. And then over here, I'm going to cut into there a little bit and just going up this way really quickly. Kind of cutting the little curves to show you that it does. You can go, if you're having a really fine kind of look, then that's fine. We can do that too. And then when you take it off, let me just do one more over here. Again, let's just take this over this. Gonna kind of lay it on top of here and put it down like this. Real simple. I'm going to cut again. I just really lightly put it on there. I don't go very hard with this. I just kind of, and a light pressure on your blade. And see, I'm going back and forth, and I haven't found the lines really, but enough I am. And so then we go over this side, and again, if I do go into the paper a little bit, that's okay too, because it'll stop the water from going across it then too, in some ways, because you're pushing down the mask into there. So I'm masking out so that the trees would be like a white birch tree, right? So you want to take the outer side out. Now, a trick, sometimes you can, if you don't have a hairdryer around, you can just take and go real slowly, pull it off. Really slow. Don't go too fast because you can make some of the gum on the tape, which this gum is not really super sticky, but it's tacky enough that it's going to keep the water away from underneath it. So that's the one side. If you find that your paper is even softer than you thought and it's really kind of coming off the tape, there are papers out there that are really soft, and you find that it kind of pulls it up, right? So you get yourself a heater, a heat gun, or actually this I use on low, it's a stripper gun. You can use one, just a hairdryer. Just a little bit of warmth just kind of activates and kind of releases the stickiness on there. So I use this at a very low setting. And I just put it underneath there real lightly, and you can find that it comes off really easy. I mean, you can pull it fast because it comes off so easy. So you saw that, how easy that came up with? Just a little bit of heat, not much. You don't want to burn it or anything like that. Don't use that on, don't use this thing on full setting. This I just use instead of a hairdryer, but a hairdryer is probably perfect for that because it's not that hot and it'll just give you enough to get it off of there. So again, I'm going to take this side. I start out real light. Just pull it here and see how it cuts where I cut. And you will not see a line that I cut into. And I'm going to try this on again just to do it really lightly. Comes right off. Doesn't pull anything off of there. Here again. Real light. Don't get too close. If it's too hot, you don't want to burn it either. So there we go. So that's it. And so look at how perfect that is. Now we're going to do it. Let me show you. Another thing you can do is that you can paint it and you can take it off while it's wet. I tried this today, or wait till it dries. And so I'm going to show you 2 ways of doing that. And actually, while we do that, let's just do a little bit on this dark tape too, so I can show you the same thing. Now here, because you usually with the hot press paper, it's very slick, But here, you can use a pencil on the black, and it will show through. It'll show, but you're probably not going to see it as much. So use yourself a white pastel pencil, which I don't have right here at the moment, but I can see, and I'm just going to do the same thing, do some trees. But now the trees are going to be white, so I'm just going to leave the inside and take the inside out. And so again, I'll take the tape, put it on here. Now this paper tends to be even softer than the white, a little bit softer, so you have to watch out. I just put a little bit on here. I'm going to do 2 of these real quickly. Just again to show you, it's no painting, I just want to show you what it's like. And so I'm going to take real lightly and just go back and forth and, just get little notches in the tree. One, maybe this one's a little bit thinner and I can't see the lines underneath it. And probably it's a little bit harder doing it that way. But if you use a white pencil, you can probably see it through there because it's kind of transparent, this tape. As you can see enough, as you saw on this tape, you could saw on the white paper that you can pretty much see through it. So I'm just kind of giving it a real fast line there. Again, this time I'm taking out the middle because I'm going to make the middle white. And so I'm just going to peel that off. And so again, on this paper, I'm going to use the heater just real lightly, just enough to start it. There, see it pulled up a little bit. So I went too fast. So go slow, and it's not going to pull anything up. If you go fast, it tends to kind of pull things up. So don't heat it too high, it's getting too hot. Use a hairdryer. This is a little bit too hot. It's a stripper. I'm gonna strip the heat of the skin off my hands here. Let's try this again without the heat and see if I can't get it started and go slowly. Let's see. I start with my fingernails here, and there we go. And so go slow, and then pull this farther away so I don't heat my fingers up. You can see when I first started, it pulled up a little bit of the black tape, or black paper I mean. So far distance I can go, far distance, just enough to give it a little bit of heat so it just releases. It did pull up, you can see a little bit of the paper, but so little that it doesn't really matter. Such a little bit. Here I've done a couple of examples of this, what I've done here, same thing, where I took it and I got kind of really hard edges on it. Well anyways, what you're going to do now, so I'll just blend it down like this. And now, let's take and use a brush. I'm going to use a brush, I'm going to put a little water in there. And let's start out first with the white. And so for this, I'm just going to do the background. Let's say the birch trees are light. And so I'm just going to do a darker background. We'll start out with a lighter background and then kind of go over it and just kind of paste over it, paint over it. And you can see how it repels the tape, repels the paint, which is really cool. Now it's wet, and so now I'm going to do a couple of little darker things on top of that and kind of take it across to show you how you can take lines across it. Again, this is a cold press that I'm working on. It's a Stonehenge Aqua Cold Press. And again, here we can just do some lines. And then we're gonna, let's say, do this, make it come through here. Just faking or whatever is gonna be put into the background. Not worrying about those birch trees, because those birch trees will end up being just darker or lighter than that because I masked it off. I didn't mask with masking fluid, I masked it off with the tape, the soft tape. So we'll do that. And so on this one, we're going to use white, and I'm going to use some white watercolor. I'm just using white watercolor on this stuff. All right, and so here, what we're going to do is we are going to just go across it. I'm going to kind of just tap it around here a little bit, get it background a little bit, even maybe use a little black in here, make it gray. So I'm using a lot of water on the bottom here. And now, because I didn't mask out the rest of it, background's going to be lighter also. That's okay. And I'm just here to show you how this works and how it's going to work as a masking agent. Great way to use it as to mask off. Let's put a couple of lines through here that are dark, just to show you what you get. Take a little bit of white. Same thing. Put a little bit more water on there to show you that it's okay with a lot of water. It's not going to go underneath the tape because I burnished it a little bit, just slightly. Now, I'll put this aside for a second and just show you that while this is still wet, you can take it off. And it's not going to bleed in there because it's dry, and it'll stay right there. And so a lot of times, you can take it off while it's wet so that you can, as long as there's no puddles right next to it, and even then we're going to try it. I'm going to see how it goes. So again, set it on low, going to heat this up a little bit. Comes right off of there. Look at how nice it comes off. Stay away a little bit. This part is still wet. Look at, it's not even bleeding in. And actually while you're heating it, it's kind of nice because you're also drying it at the same time. So here we go again. A little bit in, and so here we go. Right over the wetness. See how it was wet right there? Alright, pull a little bit. There we go. So there you have it. No paper was pulled off on this. It was just perfectly set into the paper, and there's nice hard-edged lines that I had done across it. I went really wet in this area, and it's still wet, and it just took it right off there. Now, if you wait a while and let it dry, it does the same thing. You don't have to worry about that. I don't know how long, if you can leave it on there for weeks like other masking fluids, which you don't want to do anyways. Don't leave it on there that long. Get it done and get it over with. And especially if you take this paint or this tape and cut it out, I think it would last longer than actually a masking fluid would. So let's see what happened with the black paper. And so for that, we're just going to go sideways here, and I'm just going to go slowly, pull it off. And so let me heat it up again. Real light, real light. Again, not too much heat. Here it's pulling up a little bit more of the paper. There we go. If you pull too fast, sometimes it does pull up a little bit of it. The black hot press is pretty soft paper, but look at, I got it so I can get a nice hard edge. If you're using masking fluid, it would just pull up a lot of the paper, but here, look at this. Hardly anything. Comes right off of there. Got these black lines now instead of the white lines because it is black paper. I got too close to that again. Watch out. Burn your hands. It's too hot. Oh boy. You gotta stay away from that. So I'm going across. One more time. Light. Alright, so there you have it. So here we've got, and also what you could do is when this is dry, if you want to take the tape over it again and have the paint go on top of that, or the tape go on top of the paint, you can do that too, and just cut it. Well, let's try it real quickly, just to show you that you can just take this tape, let's go on top of here real quickly, put it right on top, do a little cut. Let's just cut it a little bit. You would actually maybe draw it in. Maybe I just want to have this little section that I want to maybe cut a tree out of, right? How about that? Just gonna kind of cut this, and then we're just gonna take this off of there, pull this real lightly. I'm not even gonna use the heat gun because it's so small. And then what I can do is, let me do this other side here. Just kind of cutting away to show you that you can also do it on top of a color. So that if you're already at the color down and you feel like you want another mask over that, instead of using, again, masking fluid. And this masking fluid tends to be messy. Here it's not messy at all. Look at this. Look at how fast that goes. So then I'll take my brush. Let's go across this again. There we go. I'm going to take it off while it's wet. I will take the heater on that though, because I don't want it to grab on any tape. Real quickly, let's just take both sides off. I probably don't even need this heater, but I always just like to have it just because this tends to come out real smooth when I do use the heater. But see, I just made a couple lines there, and no big deal. It just made this line right there, and it's again on top of it. And I could have done it the opposite way, where I took the other parts off and made that light again. It's up to you what you want to do. You can do like negative like this, or you can do a positive, and that is the Holbein Soft Tape. It's available, I've seen at Dick's.com, dickblix.com, or blix.com, whichever one that is, and also at Vermont Art Supply. I saw vermontartsupply.com, I think it is. So there's two places I know you can get them at, and all 4 sizes. There's 4 sizes to them. So check them out. I will put them into the video comment section, so you can do the link to where you can buy that. But it's super awesome stuff. And thanks for watching. And this is a BeckerArt tip. Come back to my website and to my YouTube channel to find out all kinds of tips, and also for paint-alongs on Thursday nights. All right, so thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you some other time. All right, later.